We've been walking all day, and my goal today was to find a place to gun hunt. Found a couple decent spots, but didn't find anything that I was real confident in. We got a kind of a wild hair here, and we've always noticed this piece of public that's right off the road, but it's super thick and it's very, very small. There's tons of public land down to my right here, but there's a road right down here at the bottom. Jake and our other friend Jake,
Yellow,
and I were talking. This is probably an overlooked little spot here. It's super thick, it's really hard to get through, and I've made it in here about 10 minutes maybe. We got some guys shooting some guns down there too. But that's the thing, everybody goes on the other side of the road. We popped up here to this side of the road. I got up and I started walking right through here. I was walking along here. There's this shed sitting right there. Looks to be a decent 4-point side, probably a 2-year-old, but first shed we found all day. And it just goes to show how sometimes these little pieces can be overlooked. And I'm super excited about it. Now that we're in here, I'm looking at this area for an area to potentially set up on during bow season. This is actually right adjacent to some of that stuff that's closed off all year. That's just another reason that makes it really good. There's this little opening. There's obviously not a lot of trees in this area. It's a lot of hedge, a lot of low vegetation where, you just don't have the tree stand opportunities that you might have in other locations. But I was just thinking, man, this would be an awesome spot to come in, set up, kind of set up on the ground, maybe in one of these cedars or even on the fence row over here. But if you look, here's a perfect example of a setup. You could tuck right in here in the cedar and you'd be able to shoot 20 or so yards down through there. And that's the kind of setups that we're looking for all the time. We're looking for overlooked spots, and it's really hard to explain exactly what we're looking for. Every overlooked spot's a little bit different. But the best way to put this is there's tons of public around this area. And on this side of the road, there's just a very small sliver. It's very thick from the road up, making it really hard to access for a hunter. A lot of guys aren't just one to access through that thick stuff, going through traditional bedding areas to get to a place to set up. It may be an aggressive sit, you may be bumping some deer, but you may get into a spot where, nobody's been and all the deer feel comfortable there. This is one of those exact locations. This is exactly what we're looking for. Nobody is hunting in here. I think so many guys get intimidated by the fact that they may spook deer. And yeah, we don't want to spook deer either, but in this situation, we know nobody's hunting in here. So if we just get aggressive, take advantage of a area that isn't being pressured, we're probably gonna come in here and see deer and likely see some bucks in here. That shed back there is just an example. And if you look here, deer crap there, there. There's all kinds of deer in here. And I'm assuming there's some mature bucks in here. So don't overlook these little spots. I mean, this place, like I said, is super tiny. It's very similar to the place that we killed that buck in Nebraska. But either way, it's really cool. I'm really glad we did this. I almost was intimidated myself by the thickness, but Jake said, let's get in there. We did. Got a shed, so pretty excited. Still got a lot to look at. Man, it's crazy how hard these things are to see. I mean, I was just walking back at it. If you're looking at it from this angle, it's right there. It's real hard to see. Pretty cool. So I came in here to that spot and was looking up there. And then I found that antler just right there. And
all it is like a staging area, basically. The deer are bedded right down there, and they come up here, mess around, socialize, whatever. I mean, they just hit scrapes and whatnot, but that's what they're doing before daylight, before they go out to this field.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I like shed hunting, is because you find a lot of sheds in spots like that, and you can use that the next fall.
No, for sure. And it's crazy to me if you come over here. Like, this was the trail that I was walking up right here. And look at these scrapes. They don't even have a licking branch. That scrape doesn't have a licking branch.
Some of the ones down there too, in front of where we want to set up.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, this is the type of overlooked spot always we're looking for. It's just weird in here. I mean, you can't even walk through that.
It's only, what, 30 yards off the road?
Yeah. I mean, how many acres is this?
It reminds me a lot of that spot in Nebraska. It's totally different habitat, but like it's just a real small piece that everybody drives by all the time. Like literally where you drive into this piece of public, and everybody just goes by it.
That's the same.
This is because it's like me and him tried to walk through it, or I was crawling. I'm like, nope, not worth it. Like there could be like the biggest buck of all time in there, and like I don't want to go through there to find the antler because like you were crawling and it took me 15 minutes just to get 15 yards, you know.
Yeah.
But they do have the little tunnels through there, and like this is where they come during gun season, especially when everybody starts hunting over there.
That's what I said. We were trying to find a spot to set up for gun season over there, across the road, and then we were just like got that wild hair. I mean, I said too, like I didn't even want to come in. I was like, maybe I don't want to go in there.
Like that, like this is one of the thickest spots I've ever been down there. Like you can deer drive them, but like where do you shoot at them besides this little spot? And like they're not coming out here if they're getting driven.
No, they're just standing in this tunnel.
Across that field, but we can't shoot at them.
Right.
It's not public.
Right. Yep. It's crazy. You rolling?
Rolling.
How's my? Do I look too stupid with my eye?
I mean, just tell them what happened.
All right, you ready? Well, we just came out of the spot, and it is super thick, and I took something to the eye in there. But it's obvious that nobody's going in here. It's just really hard to get to. Right up there is where I found that shed and that little opening that I was in. And like I said, this piece is really, really small. But right here is just this weird little corner. And right up there about probably only 75, 80 yards is where I found that shed. And I found a ground setup in there that I talked about earlier. But let's go up here and check out this tree. I think what we'll do is end up parking down the road a ways and then walking in. And we're gonna walk in this deer trail here, and you can just follow it right up to this tree. It's pretty evident that there's a lot of deer using this trail, so we're definitely gonna leave some ground scent, but it's a risk that I think we're willing to take for this spot. This tree right over my right shoulder is where we'll likely set up for a tree stand setup. And the reason we wanna do a tree stand setup in here, in this spot, is because once we start looking at it a little bit more, it does make sense for the deer to bed here with this wind. With the wind coming over the top, they can bed there and look down towards the road. I don't think a lot of people are coming up here ever, but I think we can slip right up that tree, face right into this opening. We'll show you what it looks like once you get up here. I think we would climb this forked tree right here. It's just a cottonwood tree right there. We'd get up there facing this way, and we'll show you what we can see. So once you get up here on top, it's really open. You can see, there's probably a 40-yard little opening right up here. And my original idea was to set up over there. We may still do that some, but if you look over here, right where we can get just high enough to where we can see over this vegetation, we'd be able to shoot pretty much an eye level shot at these deer coming across this hillside. And we assume that if a buck is gonna come out here cruising this bedding area, he's gonna hit this opening. Rubs like this tell us that bucks are doing that, and if we're set up there, we're gonna have probably a 25-yard shot.
Looks a little far with the wide angle, but yeah, it's not pretty much a chip shot.
I think also, like I said, the big thing with this spot is these deer are gonna wanna bed here with this wind. With that wind, we can get in that tree. So just always look at a setup, what makes sense for the deer to bed here. The wind's coming over the top, they're gonna bed here facing down the hill. And we can access this spot from that road, pop up in that tree, and be able to shoot in this little opening very easily. And I'm very, very excited about this spot. And I don't get excited about spots right off the road, but I know nobody's hunting in here. I mean, we're excited about it. We'll definitely be back in here probably in the summer. Probably test hang that tree just to make sure it will work. But other than that, I think we're good to go. We came in here today with the goal of finding a gun season spot, but I think we might just found a rock solid bow hunting spot for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's so close to the road, but it's, nobody, like you said, nobody has ever probably thought about trying to hunt here.
No.
I mean,
and if they did, they walked in there, they're like, nope.
Well, I know for a fact, Aaron and I have been driving up and down this road for the last 3 years. We've always been like, yeah, it seems like a place a buck would be right up in there, but like we've never even done it. And I almost didn't want to do it today, but I sure am glad we did now.
Yeah.
Crazy thick. Yeah, it
Your ears
definitely was.
bleeding.
Yeah, I know.